Hey everybody, welcome to Randy's Road Life. If you're here, it's because you're family, you want information, and I consider you a friend. So with that, you have obviously, as always, you've seen the title. I want to give you guys and gals information to do what? Right here, we're going to barter in information to make intelligent decisions to bring about positive outcomes. This is the goal here, right? Whether it's in the trucking business or in our personal lives. This is what we want. We want information to make intelligent decisions, so those decisions bring about positive outcomes. So if you haven't already done so and you're new to the channel, please subscribe, okay? And also hit that big thumbs up. Give me that like if you appreciate and like the content of this video and it helps you out in some way. This is trucking math, right? In any business, you have to be able to do the appropriate math for that business. Now, I know there are some guys, they get in the trucking industry and they don't know how to do any of this. Not only do they not know how to do it, it's not on their minds, and they're just letting the trucking company they're leased to do all the work, right? And so they fail. They fail because they just don't want to do the work, right? And when you are trying to run your own business, you have to do the work. You can't just sit back and let other people do it for you, all right? Now, I did this math for the guy who does my dispatching for me. That way he's always aware where my mind is at, and and then it makes him also aware of my professionalism, so he understands how I am. So he understands how I'm trying to run my business in this truck, and that way he can appreciate that his work is actually appreciated, and there I give him information that actually helps him out in finding loads, and then coming up with good load ideas, whether stringing together loads and things like that. So, and I'm going to cover some of this in here, and I think it's very important for you guys to understand this. Now, I got a couple of formulas, and I'm going to show you guys. Now, I don't have all the video tech stuff that a lot of these guys have. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to eventually try to learn how to do this or do that, so I can, I guess, be more organized in my approach to how I do videos. That may help you guys understand things a lot better than the way I'm doing it now. So I got everything written out on separate sheets of paper. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over each one of these, and I'm gonna put it on the screen, and that way you guys can take screenshots of it. And what I'm also gonna post these things on here, and I'm gonna post the screenshots of each one of these, okay? That way you guys can also save them to your phones and go over this formula and try to implement it in your business, because it's about being practical, okay? And a lot of drivers that get in this lease thing, they're just not, they're not practical, because they're trying to run a business through fantasy, and those of us who are serious about this, about running our own business, knows that you have to use practicality. Things have to be useful, right? And then they also have to work, also, because we don't want information that it's not useful, all right? And so that's what we're about here on this channel. Our family that we have in this channel, Randy's Road Life, is not just about me. It's about you, right? Because I do this not just for me, but I do it for you. So without further ado, let's get into this. So there is a formula. There are formulas, right? And you have to be able to do math. All right, use a calculator, use your phone, calculator, whatever you need to do. So I'm gonna go over these with you first, and then I'm gonna show you. All right, first, the first formula that you need to know is how to calculate your expenses per load, by the load. Now, each load is different than the next because it goes by mileage, then your terrain is different, things like that. So we're gonna go off a hypothetical. Say you have a load that's 1,000 miles, And on that 1,000-mile load, it's in very decent terrain. So you're getting your MPGs, your miles per gallon, say it's 7.5, which is really good. Okay. And also, say your average fuel cost is, well, we'll say $5.40 a gallon. All right. Now, what you want to know is how many gallons of fuel do I need to make that trip? All right. That's the first thing you want to know, because you don't want to overfuel, right? Plus, overfueling adds weight to the truck, because diesel fuel weighs about 7 pounds a gallon, to anywhere from 7 to up to 7.1 pounds a gallon. All right. So think about this. If you have 200 gallons of fuel in your truck, do the math, right? 200 gallons, that adds weight to your steers and your drive. So don't overfuel. All right. And I'm not saying only get 133 gallons. Get enough. All right. But also do the homework, so when you look ahead, you know where your next fueling station may be according to the prices in a given area. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is gallons of fuel you're going to need to make the trip. It's very simple, right? So what you do is you divide 1,000 by 7.5, and you're going to get 133.3 gallons. Now we're going to round to the nearest dollar, so we're going to say 133 gallons, right, of fuel to make that trip, right? 1,000 divided by 7.5. It's 133 gallons to make that trip. Now, what is your cost to run that load in fuel, right? It's very simple. You take that 133 gallons and you multiply it times $5.40. Now we're doing the average here. This is just hypothetical, you know. So, and that comes up to $718.20, right? So say that load, 1,000-mile load, say it's a great load, it's paying you $3,000, right? So you got a $3-mile load, a $3 a mile load. So here's that, there's that. $718 of fuel is going to cost to run that load. Now, what is your cost of fuel per mile? Now that's a big one. Now think of this, right? How do we do this? We take $718.20 and we divide it by 1,000, and you get 71 or to 72 cents of fuel per mile. There you go. So now we know that. All right. So here's an interesting thing. Companies who only pay you by the mile say, oh, we pay $1.20 to $1.60 a mile. Think about that. Think about that. Think about what your expenditure is here. Now, some companies have fuel discount programs, right? But they're also cutting back on those programs, because even Western Flyer Express, you know, chopped their discount in half. So then there's that. So be mindful and ask the questions. When you go to apply, don't apply. Ask the question first. Do you have fuel discounts? Because I'd rather know you don't have fuel discounts, and my math is very easy to do, than you having fuel discounts and later on you cut the fuel discount. All right? Because that's not, to me, that's not integrity. All right? You're doing the bait and switch here. And that's not a good relationship you want with the driver. And so it's a 2-day trip. All right? With all this combined on your 2-day trip, all right, that is off the top, without even your deductions, okay, actually it does take in your, I'm sorry, your deductions. So I got my paper switched around. So now $718.20 in fuel costs. Now we're going to Formula 2. What's Formula 2? Operating costs weekly. All right. Now, what we want to know is how much money are we paying per day on our deductions. That's not including fuel. That's just your deductions, right? We're going to go with the hypothetical of $2,000 a week. Now you're going to divide that by 7. All right. And you're going to come out with $571.40. Now, every day, your truck is going to incur an automatic cost of $71.40. automatically. Now, some companies are give and take. You know, some are a lot less, some are actually more, and that's what you have to determine when you're looking at lease purchase companies, is your deductions. All right, it's very important. What deductions eventually fall off, what deductions are always going to be there, and what are you paying per week, per day. All right, so and don't forget, a third of this money goes to taxes. I'm not a tax expert. I'm not going to advise you on your taxes. All I'm going to advise you is you're going to have to pay taxes. Okay, so with that, a third is around 33% or whatever. I don't know your tax bracket, so you're gonna have to figure this out with a tax expert who knows trucking taxes. Right? There are things in trucking dealing with taxes that are different than other professions, so be aware of that. Not everybody who says they can do taxes can do trucking taxes. Now, that's $571. Now, the total cost per day to run this truck, or we'll say per load, right, to run this truck is in a 2-day expense, $1,289.60. All right, $1,289.60. All right, that's a 2-day load. That's going to cost you. Now, what you're going to determine is, am I losing money or am I making money? All right. And, you know, I got $3,000 in this load, right? So you're going to do the math from that. But also, remember, taxes. Okay? So we're going to wipe out $1,000 of that, all right? Then what did you just make? You see what I'm saying? Roughly $711. So roughly. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to show you. That way you can see it. I hope you can read my handwriting. Here we go. There's this one right here. All right, if you need to, take a screenshot. I am going to post this on my community posts. There's the first one. All right. Take a screenshot. There's the second one. Remember, this is hypothetical, and that is the operating cost weekly. All right. And then broken down per day. Don't forget the taxes, guys. Then that particular load costs you this. Okay. Now, this is important to know. One, if you're currently with the company and you want to know what you're making on any given load, what your profit margin is. Two, and actually the most important thing is, if you're looking for a lease purchase company, this math will help you determine if you can make money with that company. Now, a lot of things, when you do that, it's going to be hypothetical, because you have to figure out, okay, what all their deductions are, if you're being paid percentage or mile. And let me point out percentage and mile here, right? If a company books a load at $3,000, right, and say like me, I make 85%, that $3,000 is not 85%. Okay, I'm not making $3,000, because why? I make $850 off every $1,000. Are you tracking? So they make $150 off every $1,000. All right, and within that 15%, the dispatcher who assists me in booking loads gets part of that 15%. And that's what's interesting about 22nd Century, is that it's in the dispatcher's best interest to know things like this, because this also helps them make money, right? Not just you. So you have a partnership with the dispatcher here, right? So any dispatcher who just tries to book any loads for you, we're not going for that. No. We have to use our brains here, right? We're running a business. So we have to use our brains. We're trying to maximize everything we possibly can and lower the costs of everything we possibly can. All right? So we have to get with the dispatcher. We have to communicate all these things in a friendly and respectful, professional manner. All right. I'm not saying I have never been petty with the guy who does my dispatching. I have, but we've learned to work together, and everything has become very friendly between us. And we've built a strong professional relationship where now I'm able to start trusting him to do certain things. And one of those things I'm going to tell you is I kind of restricted him at first and tell him I don't want any loads booked without my expressed verbal consent, right? Or even through messaging. So, because I didn't have faith at that time that he knew my preferences, or if he knew, or how much he knew, all right? Because I've booked my own loads previously, and I know what all goes into that, all right? You can really ruin your day and week with booking bad loads. And so I had to be very cautious with him because I just didn't know. So over a period of all these few months, we have gotten to know each other, and he has stated things that caused me to believe this guy is serious about what he's doing, and he's learning, and he wants to learn more. And on top of that, he goes out of his way to study aspects of booking loads and things like that, and lanes and the where nots and the where tos and things like that. And that's very important. So what I did just a few days ago, I pretty much told him, I was like, look, in order to streamline business in the booking of loads, I allow him now a measure of trust to book loads without consulting me first in order to not lose loads, right? And what do I mean by that? Because he could be on the phone with a broker, right? He needs a decision now, right? And you don't want to lose a load. So he's trying to call me. Now, what if I'm in the restroom, or I'm in the shower, or I'm on things like that, and I'm not, maybe I left my phone in the truck and I'm not able to answer it. Well, that hurts me, right? And it also complicates his job. So we need to make this more practical for the both of us. So what I did is I was like, look, if you get that load and it matches all my preferences, all right? You know what I like, what I don't like. You're learning the business through my perspective, through what I see and what I know, right? To be good and bad loads. And you book a load accordingly. I can't argue with that, and I can't have a problem with that, right? It's important that you allow your dispatcher to be able to secure things like that without you hamstringing him or her. Are you tracking me? So this is why you got to build that relationship with your dispatcher. Now, if you book your own loads, you have to know this stuff. You have to know this stuff. And once you have all this stuff memorized, when you see a load, right, numbers will pop out at you automatically. Your brain, you'll automatically start calculating. It's almost like muscle memory. Let's just say knowledge memory, business memory. All right, you heard it here first. I'm just saying, it's my term. Anyways, so that was a joke, but maybe I'm serious. So anyways, these are things that'll start popping out at you, and you'll see good loads off the top, right? And then you can dig into that particular load for very specific things that are according or pursuant to that load specifically. Have I had bad loads? Yes, I have. I had a watermelon load I spoke about. It was a horrible load. My dispatcher didn't know it was going to be a bad load. I didn't know it was going to be a bad load, but it turned out to be a bad load. So it cost me about a day and a half, 2 days maybe, and it sucked. So it actually caused me to lose 2 other loads that were pre-booked, and then I got a crap load after that to get me to a place to get to a better load. And that happens. It's not my broker's fault at all. And that is, not the broker's, but not my dispatcher's fault at all. That is broker mishap, because they changed the location, the destination where I was going 3 times, right? And then they changed the delivery time schedule 3 times, right? The first day I was there, Bath Farms down in Newberry, Florida, I was there all night until they said, we can't load you. I go to the truck stop 28 miles away. Okay, I-75 exit. They call me in the morning. Hey, can you be there between 11:30 a.m. and 12 noon? Absolutely, I can. I show up at 11:25 a.m., 5 minutes early. I check in. The guy takes the paper from my hand right there in Bass Farms. And he said, we're not loading yet, but we'll let you know when it's your turn, all right? I was there for 9 hours. 9 hours, all right? Day 2, okay? So then I'm already tired because I've been up all day waiting to get loaded. And these times, can you take a nap? Yeah, you can take a nap. But do you take a nap and risk missing that phone call? Hey, come in the dock. No, I don't think you do. So I wait. I get the load finally between 8:30 and 9 p.m. And I drive a while, and then I have to go to sleep because I'm dead tired. So this is a broker mishap. My dispatcher actually did all his due diligence, and then, requesting layover and detention and things like that, which B2 Freight Solutions did pay. So I'm grateful for that, and but there was some mismanagement involved in that, and they didn't provide great communication about what was really going on, and my bills didn't match where they were sending me. Man, it was bad. So we try to make the best of a bad situation. This right here is important. All right, I don't want to get off topic. It's important. So learn this, right? Learn how to do the math. Again, I'm going to post this. If you have any questions, please ask me. Look, I'll teach you how to do this math, because it's going to make our industry better. It's going to make your business management better, right? And then look, don't just bogart information and knowledge. Share it. If you have something that's legitimate, right? It's not an exaggeration or understatement or overstatement, but look, just be forthright and be practical and be truthful, right? Don't sacrifice your integrity because you're angry at somebody or something. Pass on truth. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to do what? Barter information so we make intelligent decisions to bring about a positive outcome. All right? This is what we're trying to do in our business practices and our lives. And so every day I analyze these things. This is what is important here, right? So with that, I hope you guys appreciate the content of this video. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Help us out, improve the algorithm by liking the video and things like that. That way, you'll get these notifications when I post these videos. And in a week, in 6 days, I'm going to do a very exclusive interview with somebody. You're not going to want to miss this. All right, very exclusive interview, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Right, a lot of truth involved. There's gonna be some emotion involved, things like that, and you're gonna see the side of something you don't normally get to see. All right. So with that, I love you guys. Thank you for coming. You're my family. You're my friends. I love y'all. Peace.